IKI Island is the new DLC for the fantastic Ghost of Tsushima, a game I heaped praise on when it was released on the PlayStation 4. I call Ghost an incredible swan song for the PlayStation 4 and my second favourite game of the last generation, closely behind Bloodborne. The announcement of the new DLC with a PlayStation 5 upgrade had me squealing with excitement. The thought of going back and relighting my emotional fire for Lord Sakai was one I just could not pass up. So let's set sail into the depths of our past and get lost in the world of Ghost of Tsushima's IKI Island. Full disclosure, this review is done on the PlayStation 5. So you've got the full upgrades, the 60 FPS, it's absolutely stunning, quite frankly, running in full high-res mode. The 60 FPS experience for IKI Island is transformative to the overall Ghost of Tsushima experience. If this is the only way you're going to get to experience the game, well, F you, I'm very jealous.
Well, excuse me.
The game paints a stunning and faithful picture of feudal Japan that makes it feel like a unique, bespoke open world experience. And it feels like often when you play an open world game, it just feels like you're retreading previous games. It doesn't feel like that here, even though if you really looked at it with a magnifying glass, it kind of is, but it really isn't, because that's just how good the world is here. The game, rather like a samurai, just flows so well visually and sonically. The air brushes against the flowers as you ride through a field, the sunset takes your breath away every single time. Now the music is an interesting one here. In the previous game, they used these like large orchestral moments quite often to really build emotion. It's used a lot more sparingly here, but when it hits even harder, and I think that's because it's absent for so long. Not much has changed from the first game sonically, not to my ears anyway though. Again though, it just feels perfect for the world you are in. Stylistically, it's more of the same, and at times it does feel very samey in terms of the environments you're in. It's still the stunning, faithful replica of Japan that you fell in love with before, but don't expect anything massively new to the eye. If you're new to Ghost then, well, as I said, F you. The short but interesting new story campaign has plenty to love, but also some niggly issues due to the condensed length of the story. I'll start with the minor niggles first and then I'll get into the positives. The new story content is pretty short. If you rushed it, I reckon you could get it done in 6 to 7 hours comfortably. Now the issue with having a condensed story length is that you just don't make those connections with the NPCs that you made in the first game. There just isn't enough time for Tenzo or Fune to work their way into your heart. And the problem with that is the character development and the weight that those characters carry in the story doesn't quite hit right due to the speed at which the game pushes you through the story. The plot twist is very, very obvious to guess, so much so that I wouldn't even call it a plot twist. I even called the possibility of this said plot twist happening the moment I met the character in question, and it turned out to be 100% correct. Despite the above points though, I do have to say I overall loved the way the story is delivered. Not because of how the DLC story is explained, but because how much the story actually magnifies Jin's own weakness, his psyche, his own fears and self-doubt. The DLC really serves to bolster the significance of events in the first game. That's so rare in DLCs. Now personally, I often find DLCs just end up feeling like tacked on missions to the main story previously with no connection to the main game that made you buy the DLC in the first place. In IKI Island it's just so different. Due to being poisoned early in the game, Jin constantly has flashbacks or visions to his own father's invasion of IKI Island.
Jin, どうした?
Visions that make him doubt the legendary figure he perceived his father to be. I won't say much more than that, but add to this the shrines of memories, which you can regularly find around the map, which visualize the father-son bond that Jin and his father developed during the invasion of IKI Island, and you have a storytelling vehicle that really makes you love and understand Jin even more so. Even better, on top of this, it puts his character into sharp focus all the way to the beautiful final scenes of the DLC. The main story may feel short on the surface, but dig a little deeper, there is a level of emotional intelligence and attention to detail that gives a whole lot more than the 7 to 8 hours playtime suggests. flow of the game is very similar to the first game. It really is more of the same, but this time interrupted by ghostly visions due to Jin being poisoned. The intermissions are really great breaks in the play and make you pause and think about your own character's family history and sins. You will clear camps, 6 on the map, find bamboo sticks to strike down, try and catch animals or not.
母上は今日の館を渡り歩くという猫の話を愉快そうにしておった。
Free monkeys, find shrines. If you never played the first, there's so much to do. One negative I do have to flag up about the flow of the game in the DLC is that if you sunk a lot of time into the first game, there isn't a huge reason to do as much outside of the main story here, and that's because if you're anything like me, you've already upgraded everything you could have upgraded in the first game, which means that, quite frankly, there's not much to do with your technique points and your armor is already kick-ass. I played the game on hard and didn't need to upgrade a single thing other than the first mythical armor I found, which I actually really liked the perks on it, so I upgraded it. I still have yet to do a bunch of side missions on IKI Island, but I did clear all the Mongol fortresses and finish the main stories, plus some of the mythical quests. And I didn't need to upgrade anything on my character. I definitely didn't feel the pull to explore every nook and cranny of IKI Island like I did Tsushima. However, the caveat here is that I had got every single technique point armor piece and upgrade to everything in the original, so yeah, take that for what it's worth. The game is still an almost meditative experience when exploring, and the combat is still highly rewarding at harder difficulties and skillful.
お前は死ぬのが衆生のためだ。
父すら守れぬ男が父の砦を守れるわけがない。聞いてはならん。
If you're looking to revisit the glorious world of Jin Sakai for 10 to 15 hours, but with a much greater focus on the inner struggles of Jin, his father's sins, and an exploration of their history, coupled with quests, cat petting, and stunning scenery, you really can't go wrong with taking on the island of Iki. I'm not going to give a score to Iki Island as it's not a full-priced game at £20 and it's obviously meant to be an experience that adds to the experience of the original, but if you've never played Ghost of Tsushima, this is quite simply a must-buy, especially if you have a PS5 or are looking to get one soon. If you have played the original and want to understand Clan Sakai a little bit better, I'd recommend picking this up and pushing back the Mongol invasion one more time. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Lost in the World. I hope you appreciate my take on the IKI Island DLC. Hit the like or I'll hit you with the hallucination dart. Thank you very much. Peace out. Take care. And stick around. We are playing Deathloop on stream tomorrow. Twitch link down below. We're going to be playing that and reviewing it for the stream. Take care. Thank you so much for watching.